What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're going to be breaking down the patch 10.12 notes for League of Legends. This patch will not actually be coming out for about another week from now, sometime next week, right around 7 days from now, but they actually released the patch notes a week early on Twitter. This is at Mark Yetter's Twitter account if you want to check these out or learn anything more or follow him because he is a really good follow for League of Legends fans. Before we get in this video, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys are interested in the stock market at all, stocks, investing, anything like that, setting yourself up for a bright future, I actually have a link in the description below. It's going to be the first link in the description to Robinhood, which is a stock market trading app for your phone. If you're not already signed up, if you click this link and then sign up, you will receive a free stock. You don't even have to put any money on. Just for signing up, getting all signed up and prepared, you get a free stock, and then once you sign up, I get a free stock as well. So it actually helps support this channel greatly. It's the best way to support this channel if you guys like what I do, if you like my content, whatever, and you want to give back to the channel in some way. And honestly, you get rewarded too, so you're helping yourself out too. Again, setting yourself up for a brighter future, getting started with investing and receiving a free stock, just taking a couple minutes, 5-10 minutes to get signed up, and then you help both of us out. Again, it's the best way to support this channel. If you're interested in that, click that link below to sign up for Robinhood, make an account, and get started today. With that being said, here we go, getting into this video, the patch 10.12 notes for League of Legends. We're going to be taking a look at all the changes happening coming up next week. First up, the systems. Cloud Rift is going to be getting movement speed in wind areas increased to 35% when out of combat, and new Scryer's blooms outside of the base gates and near Tri-brush, I can't talk. The new Scryer's blooms are going to be interesting. More vision is always going to be a good thing, and Scryer's bloom actually has a little bit of like skill involved, a little bit just where you can aim it and all that kind of stuff. Should be kind of interesting. More out of combat movement speed. It shouldn't affect the game too much, but it'll be something cool. Keep the game a little fresh, hopefully. Infernal Rift's going to have more blast cones near the Gromp and outside of the base gates. I think that'll be interesting too. We'll see how it's hard to tell exactly how those are going to play right off the beginning, but just something to keep in mind. Go Summer Spell getting some changes. Movement speed going from 28 to 45% to 20 to 40%, so a little bit less movement speed, and they're removing the 2-second ramp up, so you're just getting all the movement speed right away. Cooldown is getting increased a little bit, and it now adds 4 to 7 seconds to the duration on takedown. So that'll actually be kind of interesting. It'll be more of an offensive spell rather than just using it to run it away. You'll actually be rewarded for using it to pick up kills. Darius looking pretty scary with that new ghost, honestly. Guardian range is getting increased. It's getting doubled. Trigger condition, any damage. I think that's a good change. I think Guardian has been too low of a trigger range forever. I've always said that. It really is only good on champions like Braum, where you automatically get in range to use it and stuff. I think increasing the range going to be pretty good buff to it, obviously. Trigger condition is going from any damage to 75 to 200 damage in the last 2.5 seconds, or lethal damage, so you're not just using Guardian on like a little tiny bit of poke or something. Also, very nice change, nice quality of life change. And the shield is getting increased as well, but the movement speed is getting removed. Honestly, seems like a really huge buff to Guardian and increasing the quality of life in so many different ways. I like that change. Predator cooldown going from 150 to 100 to 100 to 70, lower cooldown. Damage, I believe, is going down. Yes, damage is getting way more down, and they're removing the start of the game cooldown. So that'll be pretty interesting, not having that start of the game cooldown. I wonder if any champions are going to like start boots or anything right at the beginning of the game. But yeah, so the damage is going way down. They're cutting the ratios in half for AD and in more than half for AP, and just the base damage completely in half. But the cooldown is lower, so you're getting to use it more often. So that will be pretty interesting. It now grants 67.5% reduced to 45% movement speed, accelerates to 45% bonus movement speed over a second and a half while moving towards enemy champions, remove channel activation, and new only deals damage and ends the hunt against enemy champions. Hunt duration 15 to 10 seconds. All right, so you have less time to use it. A lot to break down here. You have less time to use it. There's no channeling of the ability, so no way to cancel it. And you get more movement speed over time if you're moving towards enemy champions. So they want it to be offensive. They want it to be up more often. They don't want it to have an activation. Yeah, again, I'm not really sure if this is a buff or a nerf because the damage just got gutted. But it is going to be easier to use. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm really curious to see what that's going to happen for champions like Kiana, for junglers like Gragas. Are they going to like that, or is that not going to like that? I cannot really tell right now, but for sure, once when they start coming out, that's something we will investigate. Unflinching, gain 10% tenacity and slow resistance, increases to 30% based on missing health, max benefit at 30% health. Taste of Blood now has a buff bar icon tracking its cooldown state, so not really much of a change there. And approach velocity, you gain a 7.5% movement speed, moving towards a movement impaired enemy champion, doubling moving towards an enemy champion you have impaired. All right, pretty interesting. Now the good stuff, the nerfs and the buffs, getting stuff that is a little bit more interesting. Those system changes, some of them pretty cool. Guardian Predator, pretty cool. Ghost, pretty cool. The rest of it, not really doing a ton for me. Varus, his AD per level is going down by a little tiny bit, and his AD ratios are going to be decreased a little bit as well, so pretty substantial nerf for Varus. Yasuo's base HP is down. His passive shield is going to be increased a little bit, and his W cooldown is going to be increased early. Obviously, his W gives him a ton of safety early, so increasing cooldown on that is always going to be really, really important, because he's going to be dying more often in the early game, and that's going to slow down his scaling and stuff a little bit. Cassiopeia getting some base HP nerfs, base armor nerfs, and base MR buffs. That is trying to push her out of the top lane and out of the bot lane a little bit, and making her a little bit stronger in the mid lane. Obviously, magic damage is most often going to be in the mid lane. Base MR could help her out against certain poke supports and stuff like that, but they want her to be a mid laner. They don't want her to be a top mid AD carry triple flex. Fiddlesticks, his W minion damage is getting reduced 50%, and Trundle is getting his W movement speed decreased early but increased late. Volibear, he had some hot fixes on June 1st. Q movement speed increase, E bonus damage has been increased, and his E non-champion damage cap increased by 50 at all ranks. He had an absolutely abysmal win rate on release, definitely needed some buffs. I'm not sure if those buffs are even going to be enough to get him back up to like good win rate, but we'll see how that plays out. It's always hard to tell with the new champions. AKALI Q damage, Q base damage getting increased, and her AP ratio is getting increased by 5%. Hate AKALI, hate when she gets buffed, not too excited about that. Senna 80 carry, soul generation on kills is going up, and her attack speed ratio going up. Pretty substantial amount. That'll be interesting. They're trying to bring Senna 80 carry back. Looks like that'll be decent. Zaya getting her R damage up. Don't think that'll be too big, but late game, 175 base damage increase. That's actually pretty significant. Could make her a fair amount stronger in the late game if you're able to land that ult, but obviously, when you're playing Zaya, you're not relying on that ultimate damage too often. Brand mid getting a nice buff, which is weird because I feel like Brand is more of a support in the mid laner, but I'm not too sure about that, I guess. Mana restore on a blazed kill from 6 to 18 to 10 to 30. Going to give him more opportunities to spam his spells if he's able to pick up kills. Always nice to be rewarded. And finally, the final buff of this patch in patch 10.12 is going to be Viktor getting a Q auto attack AP ratio going from 55 to 60%, and his Q shield ratio going from 15 to 20, and power from 24 to 32. Those are pretty big buffs. Viktor having a bigger shield, that's going to allow him to be safer early, which is the main time to punish Viktor. It's going to allow him to scale into a monster more easily, and the Q auto attack AP ratio going to maybe even make him able to bully a wider range of matchups, especially into melees and stuff. Yeah, should be pretty interesting. But yeah, the QAP shield ratio looks like a pretty interesting buff to me. But yeah, finally we have the new Clash loading tree and scoreboard shows team banners. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about patch 10.12? What stands out to you? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Again, check out the Robinhood link in the description if that is something you're interested in. If not, no big deal at all. But it's just the best way to help out my channel and help support me. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.